Asante. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My colleagues online, if I can just get a confirmation, if you can hear me. I'm going to assume you can hear me correctly. So, good morning once again. My name is Judith Fergens, as it is displayed on the presentation. I'm from Sanofi Consultants. I'm an entrepreneur, been doing business since 2021, but I'm also a registered tax consultant since 2019. And I've been currently I'm working with Sanofi Consultants. And for today's session, as it is indicated on the timetable, I'm going to share insights on financial discipline and separation. Financial discipline and separation, making sure that I get to cover the 3 highlighted items. We can go to the next slide, please. The other slide. So at the end of the session, I'm supposed to make sure I'm required to have covered these items. They may not have been highlighted like this. Ukiangalia presentation yangu unaweza usizikute kama hizi title, lakini at the end of the session tutarudi tena tuangalie was I able to address these concerns. Kwa sababu I was here since 3:00. So I was expecting I will interact with you ili niweze kujua what exactly did you want, but I interacted with the project manager. Na kwa kadri alivyonielezea ni kwamba you've already had various cohorts, right? Hizi ndio vitu ambavyo mko mnataka also you make sure you cover. So that means that in this session it's going to be interactive. By the end of the session, if you think you still have some questions, you can feel free to ask. That goes to the team online, which I believe wananisikia vizuri. Si ndio IT? Okay. So in a nutshell, when I looked at nilivyoangalia zile item 3 and also just the high profile review niliyofanya, all of us have registered businesses, isn't it? Uite startup, uite nini, it's registered kwa kadri nilivyoelezewa na project manager. Sawa. Na kama you are aiming to really cover these 3 items for the sake of the presentation, the objective is to make sure by the end of this session, you have transitioned your business or your mindset from a founder-managed startup to an institutional asset. So in simple terms ni kwamba my goal is to make sure that by the end of this session, your business can survive a 48 strict. If today mtu akisema I want to review your business within the next 48 hours, are you going to meet all the checks and dots in terms of pesa zote zilizokuwa ulizopokea, you have used it for business purposes, you have the proper documentation. So I'm not going to go into profit and loss because that you have already covered. I understand there's a cohort mlipitishwa what is a balance sheet na hizo, but I'm going to give a few things to make sure that at the end we cover hichi kitu. So one thing that I want us to agree, ukiwa tayari una biashara, it is not an extended personal wallet. Okay? Hiyo tunakubaliana. Once you have a business, and I made sure kwenye introduction nijitambulisha, I also do business, so I understand wakati naanza. Ukiwa na biashara, it is not an extended personal wallet. Manake nini? Not every time you want to grab a meal, we can use the company accounts. Anytime you have an urgent requirement for rent, tunapitisha kwenye company account kwa sababu una mandate ya kuregulate ile account. As soon as you have a registered business, it is supposed to have its own wallet, naongelea bank account, sawa? It is supposed to have its own systems na reputation. Okay? So namaanisha nini? Ukisha register tu biashara, inabidi kuwe kuna firewall. There's supposed to be a system of checks ambazo zitakusaidia wewe ku make sure hautumii pesa za biashara unnecessarily, which means you have financial discipline. Okay? But also another thing, I want us to have also that in mind. When you have a business, it's not a piggy bank. Unaweza usitumie ku withdraw kidogo food, meals and everything. But when you have an urgent need, whoop, you drain the whole account. Again, as long as it's a business, there's systems, okay? Lakini hiyo biashara unayoifanya inaweza ikakusaidia at the end of the day to be able to cover your expenses in the right way. Sawa. Then let's move on to the practical firewall. So for this presentation, and this is what I use personally for my business. In simpler terms, you're supposed to have a firewall. I want to believe mmeandika nachokisema. You're not busy because I'm going to really confirm kama mmenielewa, right? Yes. Sana nashangaa mnaandika kwa sababu nilikuwa sijasema chochote. And you're all busy. So we have a practical, this is what I use, okay? And if one mnasema mnataka kuseparate kati ya personal spending na business, this is a simple tool I use. Mimi nafikiria biashara yangu, I give it 4 pillars, okay? Which is what I call a firewall. You're all people, I was even excited, everyone is into it's EdTech, so you understand what is a firewall, sindio? But for the case of this, ni a system ambayo itakuruhusu wewe kuaccess hizo pesa the right way. So for me, in this presentation, I have 4 pillars. One is the physical separation. The first firewall ni make sure kuna physical separation. Nikisema physical separation, what do I mean? With physical separation, I mean that if I look at your business, it's supposed to have its own bank account, its own documentation, payments zote za kampuni zitafanyika kupitia account ya kampuni, personal spendings zitafanyika kupitia personal spendings. Okay? Are we clear? That's which I know we should have. Kwa sababu sidhani kama Sahara Consult wakitaka kutransfer funds wataweka kwenye personal bank accounts. Is that okay? I think people from Sahara can help me confirm. Madam Project Manager, we're discussing about physical separation. So I wanted to confirm. Kwa sababu tumeinteract na hizi biashara na for me nitarefer kama biashara. We have interacted with these businesses. Naamini kwa kipande cha physical separation washafanya in terms of biashara zao kuwa na different bank accounts. I want to believe so. Kama bado, you're supposed to make sure your business it is not only separated in terms of registration. Lakini you also have to make sure kwamba it has its own bank account. Kwa nini nimeanza na it may seem as a very basic requirement. I also have interacted with a few startups ambao wameshinda funds, lakini donors are willing to kuweka pesa kwenye personal accounts. Sasa already itakuwa ni risk kwako. So you have to make sure as a business, apart from registration, kwamba una tini, you have a license, you have all the necessary permits, you make sure your business has its own bank account. Kitu cha pili, all the payments ambazo tunazifanya zinatakiwa zipitie kupitia channels za kampuni. Utaniambia, I don't want to do bank. But we even have mobile transactions. And even right now, it's even much better. We have mobile transactions for businesses, which are even cheaper. Okay? So that itakusaidia. Kwa nini nasema you have to make sure kuna physical separation? Ukiwa unafanya wewe from your personal account, mbeleni inaweza ikaja kuwa difficult. How do you separate these funds? So when you do it from your fees, from the accounts za kampuni za biashara, it's much easier. So the first pillar that I usually do is a physical separation.
Is the question you wanted to ask me?
You have answered it.
Okay.
You've answered it. You answered it. So, the first pillar ni physical separation. So, kwa kama you have not yet finalized, make sure you have its own bank account. Hiyo itakupa discipline hata wewe ukienda kutoa pesa. Sasa tutakuja tuangalie hizi pesa ambazo tumesema ziingie kwenye bank account ya kampuni. There's something we call a clean transfer rule. Tutaangalia how does money go out when you as an owner or a founder need it. Tutakuja tuangalie kwenye clean transfer rule. The second firewall is the digital ledger. Okay? As soon as you run a business, you have to keep accounts of your records. So now we have so many ways how we can keep account of it. We have simpler terms. We even have Excel. So you can even record on Excel. You have various apps that can use. But for me, what I suggest is a digital ledger. What does that mean? I encourage the use of cloud accounting systems kwa sababu unakuwa unapata real time data. Real time data inakuongezea credibility. What does that mean? Nikifanya transaction yoyote, automatically I'm able to record it. Kwa sababu sasa hivi pia it even goes much further. You can be able to integrate bank transactions to these cloud accounting systems. Kwamba ukifanya transaction, ukifanya payment, automatically ile payment inaenda kuwa recorded also in your accounts. The only requirement ambayo utabaki wewe kufanya kama una ni kurudi sasa kuandika maybe supplier details kama they were not clearly picked or what accounting expense was it. But we have systems that can help you to fanya accounting automatically, specifically for payments or expenses ambazo tunazifanya. So your question would be, why do I have to use a cloud accounting rather than traditional accounting means ambazo nazitumia? With cloud accounting, any person can access your data. If leo hii mfano, maybe you are in this program, let me just give an example. And I just want to see how you're faring, how you've used your accounts. Wewe ambaye nitakupa utaniomba mwezi mmoja kuandaa na yule ambaye ataweza kunipa on time data because atanipatia access niweze ku review the accounts, niweze ku review how the money was used. Who would be much more trustworthy? Unaishi utamwamini nani if you want to invest money? Unaona sasa, maybe wewe unaweza ukawa unafikiria amna, unajua hizi fellowship programs tunachukua mwezi mmoja, miezi miwili. Kumbuka you're growing a business. You're going to move past this. You could have investors who are even here. Okay? You would meet a person and they're interested in your business and they want to invest in it, but they want to look at your accounts. How credible are you when you have money? How much money have you been able to handle? These are real life experiences ambazo I've come across. Okay? As your business grows, because kila moja nimesikia on a high level you are mentoring youth. So I'm expecting your businesses are going to grow with the impact you are intending to make. So you should make sure you have a digital ledger. Sawa? Uache hizi kitu za Excel. No. You use cloud accounting, and most businesses are moving to this. So, any person, anywhere can access your data anytime. Lakini unampa restrictions pia. Nitaamua uangalie expenses zangu, nitaamua uangalie labda transactions zangu za hii benki. Okay? Depending on the donor, maybe once you expand, you could even have separate accounts depending on the donor or the investor, right? So another pillar I encourage is digital ledger. Kwa kama mimi as a founder, it helps me at any time. I can review. Nijue, okay, there's this transaction. What was it? There's this transaction I'm supposed to make. Okay? Another firewall that I usually use is the clean transfer rule. Kumbuka tumekubaliana, you're supposed to have physical separation, pesa zote za kampuni zipitie kwenye kampuni. Lakini sasa you might want to make transactions, okay? To transfer these payments. Kwenye clean transfer rule nachokisema, every transaction is supposed to have an explanation. Now an explanation, it includes words and also a document. So for example, if I want to pay, okay, if I want to, maybe I'm making a payment for a supply, in simple terms, maybe it's a subscription. A subscription watakupatia invoice, right? Lakini sasa kwa sababu unafikiri it's a legitimate expense, you will just make payment. 5 years down the line, nikija kukuomba hiyo document, unaona ambavyo unakuwa frustrated. So if you make sure kwamba every transfer unayoifanya, you have a document, hiyo document inayoongelea ndio tutakuja kuweka kwenye data room. Okay? This is the storage of your documents. Tutaangalia how you store them. So ya kwanza ni kumake sure kwamba every transaction has an explanation. Banks, when we transfer money, for whatever reason, legitimate or not, put an explanation. You have to put an explanation. Itakusaidia wewe, unaweza ukafikiri hii transaction mimi naijua, mimi ndo nafanya. You may not remember. So make sure you put an explanation. Kitu kingine, make sure you collect this documentation. It could be a supplier. We do business, a supplier atakwambia, I'm going to send you the agreement baadaye. Utasahau na yeye atasahau. So you need to make sure, if you keep this clean transfer, uta make sure kila payment kama ni mkataba, maybe not an invoice, maybe it's an agreement, maybe it's a service level agreement, maybe it's an MOU. Make sure you have these documents. Lakini sasa we also have other transfers that do not have necessarily a document, okay? Umefanya transfer, bahati mbaya wewe sasa hujafuata clean transfer rule, umefanya transfer to a personal account. At any particular point ukifanya payment ambayo iko unrelated to a business, itakuwa treated kama vile umefanya drawings, unaccounted expenses. So yes, there are cases where you don't have the document, you need the money. If money goes out of your bank account, I believe that it's going to be treated as you have taken a loan out of the business. Kwa sababu pesa kwenye biashara yako itatoka inaenda commit the specific target, okay? Kufanya kazi ambayo iko intended, maybe your specific business, training people, maybe you need to facilitate. That is the first reason you have proper documentation. The second reason, payment of your team. Maybe you have a payroll ya watu. Sawa? Manaka hapo unategemea biashara yako pia inabidi iwe na employment agreements imeziwapa your team members to support the payment unazozifanya. Maybe you could go ahead, niliona mlikuwa mna training ya tax, umelipa licenses and registration fees na kila kitu. Sawa? But if money goes out just to your personal account, that is going to be treated as a loan. Umechukua tu drawing out of the business. It is not an expense that has not been accounted for. Let's keep that in mind, and tukienda mbele tutaangalia na how do we account for that in case imetokea. Sawa? So for another pillar is to make sure you have a clean transfer rule. Sasa kwenye data room tumeangalia physical separation, you have a digital ledger, clean transfer rule. Data room, if you don't have a data room, manake you don't have supporting documentation. Unaona hii digital ledger yako ambayo umeiandaa vizuri, cloud accounting, itakuwa haina maana. Okay? So every expense that is recorded here in this accounting system, you need to make sure you have a corresponding documents. So in simple terms, I just call it a data room. Ninakuwa nime-separate, right? From my revenues, kuna agreements ambazo zina relate na revenue. Itakuwa maybe ni MOU, service level agreement, grants, approval, zote zinakaa kwenye revenue, sawa? And then expense items ndo utaweka invoices unazopokea, whatever it is, kama ni mkataba unawalipa watu payroll, manake we're supposed to have supporting documents for that. Sawa? So those are the 4 items that are very important. So you can call it a firewall or a practical firewall. These are the checks that I do. In simple terms, this is what I do for my business. Ukienda kwenye accounting utakuta imepewa jargons ngumu sana, but this is what I do. Kwa hata mtu akija I have my team there. When they want to approve a payment, anaweza hata kanitumia email, "Hi, madam, we want to do this." Mimi nitamwambia, "Can I have an invoice? Can I have a document? Can I have a supporting document? It's a legal expense, ndio nime-approve. But 5 down the line nitakuwa wapi? Naweza nikasahau, right? Okay? But also you may be required to account for your expense items, not only to watu waliowafund, pia hata to revenue authorities. So do you see how if you make sure you have this, leo hii nikakwambia I want to invest 20 million, could be small, but can I just run a quick review of your business? Do you see how you're ready within 48 hours? Because utaniambia, okay, what do you want to do? Here is my books, look at them. So just making sure these checks around. But if you are disorganized, utaanza kuwa frustrated. You need a week uweze ku account yale malipo umefanya nini. You see how we cook expenses. But if we maintain such a very simple firewall, you're just ready on a Friday, mtu akupigia simu, I don't know, Judy, saa 10, we have an investor, can you come and review your business? You're ready. You don't have to say wait until Monday so that you use the weekend to get ready. Sawa? Na pia nakuondolea necessary pressure. Now, once we have covered the firewall, I wanted also us to look at the compensation and authority matrix. So all these points, I got them from the key items you wanted to learn. We have already separated the business. Tumesema all the businesses are, all the money is for the business. But you as a founder, you'll be like, sasa how am I going to earn? Okay? How am I going to earn? After all, it's my money. You see, I'm the one with the idea. How am I going to earn? One, we need to appreciate the fact that it's a business. Your idea, not your idea, you're collaborating, it's a business, it has its own systems. So we have to adhere to those systems, but we can still earn. Number one, kwa mwanzoni, maybe you are still small, you're still a few people, you will have the approval. Sawa? Za kuauthorize payments, isn't it? Mwanzoni, we could be 2 people. So definitely the founders mtakuwa mnafanya. Lakini as you grow, as your business expands, kitu kingine. Kumbuka tunaongelea financial separation and discipline. As a business grows, you need to create categories of how much can be approved and spent by a team member at what level. Labda niseme hivi. For my business, I have a limit. Natoa mfano. I have a limit, maybe mpaka 100,000. My admin staff can proceed and make payments depending on your business now. Kumbuka, mimi nimekaa nikawaza kulingana na biashara yangu, maybe 1 million inatosha, sawa, kucover a few operation expenses ambazo admin naweza nikadelegate. So I will delegate that. Ndio maana utakundua ukiingia kwenye makampuni utakuta mtu anakuambia, financial manager anakuambia, milioni 10 ingekuwa ndani yangu, lakini milioni 20 natakiwa niende nikaombe approval kwa, I don't know if you come across that. Lakini unakuta kwamba kama milioni 10 Judy ningekulipa tu, lakini kama zaidi ya milioni 10 inabidi nikaombe approval kwa labda maybe general manager. Why? Businesses that succeed, you don't have to make payment of everything. Kwa sababu sasa unataka kuwa na financial discipline. You can establish a cap kulingana na biashara yako. What are the operation expenses? So maybe could be rent, electricity. Hizo zote nikizijumlisha, kama unawapa wafanyakazi wako food, kama you have to reimburse them in a month, how much are we looking at? Kama ni milioni 2, manake milioni 2 sasa unaweka kama cap, kwamba milioni 2 they can spend. Hiyo nimewapa pre-approval to spend on the following items without my approval on account that wananipatia documentation. Sawa? So kama mimi ofisini kwangu tu, we have a system on a monthly basis. Sawa? Wewe unaweza ukaamua on a 6-month basis. So it depends, kwa sababu saa nyingine ina fluctuate, ina hit, saa nyingine inashuka. So on a monthly basis I sit with the person for monthly reconciliations. Okay? Ile milioni 2 ataniambia nimespend hivi na hivi na hivi. Mimi nachomomba tu ni documentation, kwa sababu zile expense items nishazi approve. Now over time I've been doing this since 2021, so I know what are the common expenses for my business. That is level 1. And then kumbuka tunaongelea spending authority. Sawa? And then after that, what does that mean? That means that ukisha delegate hizo items chache, you don't have it again to sit and approve every payment. You see, umeme, you know you have to pay for electricity if you have an office. Sawa? So you don't have to petty things like you have an office, you have to pay for electricity and you know how much kama haujui, you need to know. You need to know as a business roughly kwa mwezi natumia this much. So it leaves you room kuendelea kufikiria vitu vingine, sijui kupitch, sijui kufanyaje. You see how you lose ile load. Lakini we can also have level 2. Sawa? We can also, most organizations wanatumia level 3. Sawa? So ile inakuwa ni, ndio maana utakuta watu wanaziita petty cash. Alafu, yes, kwenye hizi biashara, these are terminologies we give, but it's the same practice. big organization wataziita petty cash. Sawa. Kwa hiyo unaweza kaita this nitawaruhusu mspend. Tukienda, we have now another level. Another level, if an organization is big, ndo utakuta ndo zile amounts zinakuwa approved na finance manager. Sawa. Sasa kama you are two founders, hizo ni this is how I can advise. Kama ni two founders unakuta, or more than two founders unakuta mmoja ndo anakuwa allocated, bwana wewe ndo utakuwa responsible for approving this. Sio kwa sababu you are the one who is financially responsible, it's because we're trying to delegate work. Sawa. So zile anaweza kazi approve, japokuwa for it to be spent they need to get an approval of that specific partner, shareholder, whoever it is going to be. Na kama an organization ni kubwa ndo tunaziita finance manager. Sawa. So you cannot wake up in the morning, you're one person, then you want to have a finance manager. Okay? Just to approve a payment. It doesn't make sense. Okay? And then the third level sasa ndo unakuta these are huge chunks of amounts that for them to be spent, it has to be a cordial agreement. All of the partners involved, our business members. So, asa kwa mtu ambaye ni one man show, like, yes, I could have a shareholder, but I just had the shareholder for the sake of having a shareholder in the company, then the check that you can give yourself ni kuangalia this huge amount of expense that I'm going to spend, what is its return on investment? Okay? Kwa nini? Kwa sababu unaona kama wale, for the other case ambao wanakuwa shareholder zaidi ya mmoja, those are the questions watakuwa naulizana. Sawa? Why do we have to spend it? Do you see how they answer the question of what is the return on investment? What is the gain that I'm going to receive after taking out this huge amount of money? Sawa? So, as an individual, kwa sababu you're the only person in that business who can literally make decisions, probably have a dormant shareholder or the shareholder was just there for the case, then you ask your question, what is the return on investment? But if it's a company with the shareholders, with board members, that's when they go and they present it to the board. Sawa. Wengine siku hizi they don't have board members, wanakuwa na advisors. Okay? That's where you seek advice that this is what I want to do. Now these are huge amounts, tunaongelea expansion. Sawa. Umekaa sasa, umeweza ku set up your system, now you want to expand, you want to set up, you need to build. You see, we're talking about very huge investments. So you need to be able to categorize it in 3. Sawa. Sawa. Okay, that is on the spending authority. Now, let's talk about the market adjusted salary. Again, I'm still on the founder. It's my money. How do I earn? There are 2 reasons. You could either be taking huge amount of money from the business just because you are financially irresponsible. Or 2, you have not been able to sit down and be honest about the market value of what you should be earning in accordance to your business. Okay? I could have $20,000, but does that mean that I have to take out $10,000? But I also have an upkeep. So this is where you have to be able to discuss the salary of the founder. Most of the times we do the business, but then we do not pay ourselves. So kwenye market adjusted salary, what I suggest ni you have to really be honest. Cha kwanza, you look at the minimum expenses that need to be covered by you. That's how you establish your salaries. And then tutakuja tuangalie mbele what that has an impact on your business. So you look at what are the minimum expenses? Okay, I have to pay my own rent. I have to cover these expenses. I have to cover transport. It depends. What are your expenses that you need to cover? Ukisha establish hizo expenses, tunachokifanya, we add a 20% margin on that amount. Sawa, nachukua minimum expenses. Natakiwa kucover 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. as a business owner, I believe you'll be very innocent. You'll be very innocent and honest with yourself. Sawa? Kwa sababu if inflate hizo prices, you're going to kill the life of your business and startup. Sawa? So you're going to be very honest. So what does that mean? Mimi kuweza kucover my expenses, nika add a 20% margin, manake first biashara hii inanilipa. Sawa? As much as I'm growing this business, I'm also covered with my expenses, lakini pia nabaki na 20%. I can save it. I can use it for any other emergencies. Okay? So that is on the market adjusted salary. Kwa sababu nilikuwa naangalia, when the question came, how do I separate business and personal? So my mind was that you're not even paying yourself. So this is how you establish the amount to pay yourself. Then baadaye as your business grows sasa, kuna various there are various ratios that we use to inflate and increase your salary. Sawa? It increases pay in terms of contribution. Sasa in terms of the turnover ambayo you're bringing in, okay? The business life, how inavo progress. But for now, you need, this is what we use. Ukiamua kutumia 50% ni wewe. But this is what we use. Sawa? Na kumbuka, ukisha cover expenses, you remain relaxed and you can now focus on your startup. Sawa? 20% is maximum. And then hapo, ukiacha hapo niliweka a question mark. So then I told you about something. Nilikwambia kwamba tukisha establish a salary, sawa, tukajilipa. Kitu ambacho nilikuwa nafanya ni kwamba mara kwanza nilipoanza biashara, nilipokuwa nikijipa tu mshahara, my business collapses. It's either I just, do the basics, food and go home, and then when I want rent, I'll come back, but the business was not able to cover my salary. But it's because I had inflated my salary. So if you use that route, tutapata market adjusted. Ndio maana nimeandika market adjusted. Tunaangalia minimum basic requirements, weka 20%. Ukishapata hivyo, kama biashara yako inaweza ikaendelea, sawa? Maanake utakuwa, your business can go on, you can survive without interfering with personal expenses, with business expenses, lakini pia biashara ikikua. Hata any investor akija kuangalia, it practically makes sense for you to pay yourself. Rather than you waiting 6 months and then you pull out a big chunk. And then you wait December, you pull out. It doesn't make sense. Okay? But having a constant system kwamba unajua at the end of the month, Victor gets this amount, this is more practical. And it leaves a very clear trail rather than ile lump sum payment. So if you are able to have the spending authority, maanake umeweka zile levels, you've already adjusted the market adjusted salary, sitegemei kama utakuja sasa kuinterfere na business account, business funds. Japokuwa they could be emergencies. Now the emergencies, businesses, zinaweza zikatoa mkopo kwa employees. Right? Maanake pia business inaweza ikatoa mkopo kwa a shareholder, an owner of a business. So in case this has not worked, you need a huge amount to pull out, which again, I believe you're going to make very responsible financial decisions. Manake pesa unayotoa unaichukua kama loan. If you take out a loan, there's supposed to be an agreement. Yes, it's your business, but your business is supposed to give you a contract and then you sign. Wewe mwenyewe, have it there. There will be accountability. Hiyo document tunaipeleka kwenye data room. Siku nikija na kufanyia wewe 48 rigorous audit, nitakuuliza there's a loan. Utaniambia yes, there's this loan that the shareholder took. Ila imagine nakuja nakwambia there's missing 40 million. Na mtu mwingine ananiambia by the way I took 40 million, this is the agreement, this is how I'm planning to pay it. who makes sense? Unajua wote ni sawa, but who will get the pass? The one who took it out as a loan. Jamani, sio advance. Advance, it's supposed to be returned within 12 months. Anything past 12 months, that is a loan. Sawa? Yes, kwa sababu sisi we've had essence, mtu anakuambia sijachukua mkopo, nimechukua tu advance. Advance inatakiwa iwe returned within 12 months period. Anything past 12 months, that becomes a loan. So again, that agreement goes back to our data room. In case there's any rigorous check, hautaona milioni 40 zimepotea, utakumbuka there's an amount that was given out as a loan. Okay? All right. Next. So now, from the discussion that I have had, from the few items that I've shared, you will realize that you have a data room. So, zile stress za document. No, hautokuwa nazo. You have a digital ledger. You have a data room. Now, these are just simple terms. You don't have to use complicated terms. So, we had this, can I have an agreement? Naweka. So, ninajua nikitaka document yoyote naenda So, it could be a folder. So, you're building systems, so you know it could be on cloud. Another thing, because of the digital ledger that we have, automatically you have a chart of accounts. You don't have to sit down and prepare, the traditional accounting ways tulikuwa tunatumia. We put Excel, trial balance, we move it to, we balance the ledgers and then we prepare profit and loss. The cloud accounting systems zinatuandalia hii automatically. Unajua ni on real time basis. So you already have your chart of accounts. The best you can do is just to verify the amount. So, expense ni ya kwako ni ya kwako. Utaangalia what expense doesn't make sense. Kwa sababu tumeshaangalia how are all these recorded in the chart of accounts. So, from these two, what you are simply supposed to do is monthly reconciliations. Kumbuka hizo utazifanya. Kumbuka, we have already levels za pesa. Sawa? Tumeassume maybe this amount itakuwa unaruhusu waweze kuspend. Sawa? Kama ni milioni 1, kama ni milioni 2. So on a monthly basis, you just do monthly reconciliations. Okay? And then all of this, it leaves a perfect audit trail. Sawa? Kwa hata nikikaa ukaniambia I want to look at your business accounts and records, you have a clear audit trail. You have a data room, manake ina documentation, ina support expenses zako, ina support revenue zako. You have a chart of accounts. If I want to analyze, sawa, your expenses, what is your return on investment? Sawa, what is the huge kwenye expenses zako, ni kitu gani kinachukua, what takes a huge amount of your money, or where does your money go for the business? Sawa. So already you have these charts of accounts ambazo zinakusaidia pia kufanya analysis. Sawa? So those 4 pillars only, you already have a proper audit trail. And we will not have a discussion again of how do I separate business and personal finance. Then after this session, please, that is not a discussion you're supposed to have as a founder. Kwa sababu kama you cannot have financial discipline with the funds za biashara yako, it's a hidden tax. Itakuja kukost uko mbele. Sawa? Okay. And then we have already established a complete audit trail. So what financial health checklists that you can be working with on a day-to-day basis. So you see, as a founder, as your business grows, I'm not expecting you to come down to understand debits and credits, and that is not what you're supposed to be doing. But you're supposed to be having a very detailed understanding of where is your money coming from and what is eating your money, and what are you planning to do to generate more, and what impact have you had. Those are things that you're supposed to know. Now we have a financial checklist. Kwa sababu hata mimi siwezi kukaa chini nikaanza kureview kila item, lakini checklist au systems zinazoweka in place zinasaidia. They help me to answer those questions. So, item ya kwanza, I call it a commingling ratio. Hapa tunaangalia how much of your business finances have been spent for personal use. So nakumbuka tumeshajiwekea ile clean transfer rule. Tumeweka physical separation, lakini bado unaweza usizifate. So on a daily basis you come back unaangalia kwenye funds zangu zote. What is the ratio? It's supposed to be 0. None of the business finances funds is supposed to be used for personal finances unless under the proper systems, if it is a payout, if it is a loan. So this is supposed to be 0. Okay? There is no, yani hakuna negotiation. There's nothing around it. It has to be 0. Ukiendekeza moja itakuwa 2, itakuwa 3. 10,000 itakuwa 20,000, itakuwa 30,000, itakuwa 40,000. It's just transport. If it's transport, account for it in your salary. Sit down uangalie how much do I need to cover for transport costs. That will be included kwenye market adjusted salary. Sawa? So utakuwa umejisaidia ku avoid this. Regulatory standing. This is another checklist. I reviewed this session's trainings. Nipitia zile topics zote. And I believe you are fully informed on this regulatory standing. Nimepitia ile timetable. Kwa kupitia zile regulatory standing utakuwa umeambiwa as your business who are your basic regulators. Sawa? Licensing or registration authority, BRELA. What are you supposed to submit as a company? Hizo ni checklist ambazo unakuwa nazo. You don't have to do it. But as an owner ukiwa nayo checklist, unaweza toka mwambia as your business grows, you can just check, has this been done? Sawa? Return filing and payments to the revenue authority. I saw that was a session you had. This you can also make sure you. If it's requirements with regards to IP, I also saw that was a detailed session you have. So lazima ujue. And now vitu sio vingi. Simply imagine it's your business. Yes. You need to know all this. I know when we meet outside tunasema yani unajua yani requirements ni nyingi sana. Sio nyingi. Now let me tell you, we do consulting. We have various industries. Imagine na industries kama 20 na zote natakiwa nizijue. What are the requirements? So sio nyingi. Asa if you don't have time for this, what do you have time for? That's the business that is going to pay you. Okay? Kwa sio nyingi. Ukisema huelewi, hautoelewa. So they are not a lot. They are not a lot. Sawa? And kitu kingine, unaweza usijue lakini we have various articles. Most of business consultants, sisi, Sanofi consultants, many other companies, wamejitahidi sana. There's a lot of publications. Unakuta wame streamline per industry. Sawa? Kama huyu mtu yuko kwenye maybe EdTech, this is what they need to do. There are a lot of articles. So you can just have those requirements with you. Kwa sababu, if you don't know them and you don't comply, itakuja kuku cost. But if you know them, itakuwa ni rahisi. Mwanzoni it may be hard to keep a track, but once you know them, it's going to be easy to make sure that you know what returns have to be filed. I need to make sure I pay this specifically annual fee. So you need to make sure you have a regulatory standing. Kitu kingine, document integrity, ndo tumeangalia kule. How do you ensure document integrity? Now, those are the 3 financial health checklists. Lakini mimi waga na kuaga na, hii nimeweka chini. It's a burn rate. When we are running a business mwanzoni, it's also very important to know. That is what I do for myself. With the current funds I have, how can my business survive? So I call it a burn rate or runway. What I do is that I assume what are my total funds, sawa? And what are my total spending? Legitimate spendings. Kumbuka tumeshaelezana kule kwenye proper spending, sawa? And the money I am left with, for how long is it going to sustain me? Sawa? Sasa kuliko kukaa chini kupiga maswali yote, tunaingia kwenye cloud digital ledger yako. Unaangalia unasema with how we are going, so you will not be hit by surprise. Yani there is no way you will be in scarcity without knowing. You might have seen kwamba tunakuelekea. We're going to have a few rough 2 months. So mimi at any particular point, if I am going to be in that period, I know based on my calculations. It doesn't hit me by surprise. It could be 6 months, it could be 8 months. Why do you need to know? It helps you to plan. If you need to seek out funds, if you need to commercialize it, it helps you plan. So this gives you a strategy on how you need to run your business. Sawa? Lakini hapo ni kwenye burn rate. Nimekuambia tunachukua pesa zote na expenses. Kile kinachobaki nachokifanyaga, kile kinachobaki. Sawa? Ninakuwa tayari nina my monthly expenses. Sawa? Monthly expenses lazima utazijua. Tumesha establish level 1, level 2, level 3. So unajua utakuwa na spend on monthly basis. So kile kinachobaki naangalia kinaweza kikani sustain for how long by covering the operation expenses. So I know beyond a shadow of doubt, hii pesa niliyobaki it can only cover me 6 months. Kwa kama ni 6 months hata wewe hautoingia kwenye hiyo, you won't get into business funds. Because you know these funds are going to take us 6 months. After 6 months, let me look for a strategy. So you can still plan for your period from right now. If you don't do that, utakuta again, you get into your account, you withdraw 30,000 for internet, 30,000 for meals, 30,000, you know, you're killing yourself. Where you could have sustained your business for 6 months. Na ukasurvive. So this is, mimi nafanyaga hii. And I do it with all my heart because it helps me know how we are running as a business, okay? All right. Now, before I go to the call of action, which is the end of my presentation, and we could have a discussion if you have any few questions. Before I go to the call of action, those few items, no, let's just present the call of action here. You see all those petty things I've really highlighted that you need to do that will help you answer what you asked me. I have friends who really do good business and then they will tell you, I don't have time kwa kweli. I have time for this, I have time for growth. Lakini it's much easier for you to set a system right now than kule mbele. If you don't train yourself, mbele itakuwa ni shida. Now na withdraw F30, next time I will draw 50 and go and buy a car. You see? So you need to train yourself. I don't believe you are the people who would say that, lakini kuna watu wanasema it's my money anyway. I believe right now tushaelewa business ni tofauti na a person. You can only earn from salary, you can earn from dividends, sawa? Or you can request a loan. Sawa? Kitu kingine, also startups like wanasema this, you know, we are too small for these corporate rules, but it's much easier to implement these rules when you're a team of 2 than when you're a team of 54. Because when you're a team of 2, the 10 are going to adhere to that, the 54 are going to work with that system. And then another thing that we also tell ourselves entrepreneurs, you know what? Tukikaribia pale due diligence pale, I'll clean up my bank account niweke vizuri. Now the problem ni kwamba sisi tukiwa tunafanya due diligence, we're not looking at your banks. We're going to look at a history. We look at your history of your business. So, I ever seen this people that when a person dies and then they do an autopsy, they're really looking at the cause of death. They're going to trace every little thing. So we look at a history. So, hatuangalii tu financial statement umezibalance vizuri, umeweka expenses hapo, ulifanya hiki, tutaangalia history. If you really find people who are really dedicated to do due diligence, we're going to do a history. From the first payment that goes out. Why? Because investors want to see how ethical are you with the money. I've heard here people are being congratulated. You have impact, you know. Yeah. But then we also want to see how do you behave when money is in your account. So those are the few things. Now, from what I've shared, I just highlighted 3 things that you really need to do. If you're not yet doing cloud, if you don't have a digital server, you need to do a digital handshake. Please transfer. We cannot be doing traditional accounting. So, with all the benefits I've shared, I really encourage us to do that digital handshake. Kitu cha pili, salary deduction. Sit down, be honest with yourself, have a market adjusted salary. Some could be paying themselves inflated salary. Some could have not been paying themselves anything. And when after 6 months you pull out, you need to have a market adjusted salary. And then you can do a 50-minute audit. Sawa? Kwa sababu tukiwa tunafanya audit, we cannot spend 30 minutes on one transaction. We mean maximum it's 15 minutes. So you can just pick one expense or one transaction. Sawa? Hebu trace ilitoka wapi? What are did it have? Sawa, tumejifunza, nataka tuangalie nyuma. What were you doing? Sawa? This transaction, just pick a random transaction. Ukweka narration. How long is it going to take you to remember the narration? The document supporting it. Can you put it up together in 15 minutes? So itakusaidia kujua how you need to improve. Okay? And based on that, that is the end of what I wanted to share with you. However, if you have any questions, karibuni.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And as she said, if you have any questions, clarifications, comments, feedback, so this is the time. So I also, online people, I think you can hear me, so it's your time. She's here, she still have like 30 minutes of her time for this session. So like anyone can start. Okay,
Exactly. Thank you for the very nice presentation. My question is on one thing. Before we went to a bootcamp in Arusha, we have already received some of the bad behavior, the bad practices we built. I'm taking an example of some of the subscriptions which we could not pay them. We were not having the knowledge how to pay them directly from the bank. So normally what we did, we used to do transfers them to our personal accounts and then pay. But then all the details for the company. So I guess that is by the practice, it should be directly. And there are some of that's questionable. The question there is, now we have already done that mistake. It's past there. It's somewhere reflecting my name that's received monitoring the company. How my partner's name. And then, so now how are we making sure that it's not hunting us down during the audit? The second thing is, there are some of the payments that we are supposed to make, especially to institution, like the likely of TRA, when you're just wanting to have a tax clearance. You cannot pay them in a dollar account. So also now, same bad practice come again. Transfer to your personal account, you pay, although the receipt will read the company's name. So also for these institutions, like Halmashauri, they just give you a control number. Control number is not accepting a dollar payment. So how are we going to deal with these two things? The first scenario, the one that we did was there. And even if you look, now we are doing advertisement, promotions. You can, the bank account for the company doesn't have a credit card. So you cannot write it as a CVV to pay for the promotion. You think? So how are we going to deal with these scenarios like this?
Okay. Nice. Your hand was up?
Yes, I need how do we go about? Do you respond to each home is it with Mark?
Two, then I respond, then I respond.
Actually, I need clarification on 2 things.
Yes.
More explanation. Regulatory standing.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, for the purposes of anyone online, so the first question was with regards to expenses au payments ambazo zimeshafanyika sawa na biashara, lakini wakati zinafanyika mlichukua pesa mkatoa kwenye bank account ya biashara au hamkutoa kwenye bank account mkafanya na personal account sawa. how do you account for them? Kwenye accounting practices kuna kitu kinaitwa reimbursement. Sawa? Mfano, ninaweza nikaenda kutumia pesa kwa matumizi ya kampuni, nikarudi, nikaleta documents ili pesa nirudishiwe fedha. Sawa? Ili kampuni irudishiwe fedha. Au kampuni kanipa fedha nikatumie. Sawa? Lakini natakiwa nirudi nielezee ile pesa nilitumia vipi. Kitu cha kwanza, those we call reimbursements. Na kuna document inaitwa a disbursement note. Sawa? Now utaitengeneza kulingana na wewe. Ila it's supposed to read disbursement note. Sawa? Sorry. Utaitengeneza unavyotaka. So utakuta kampuni imeweka logo and everything, but that's a document that we have. What is the essence of that document? That document shows how much money was given to you to spend for business purposes. So it's that document itakuwa supported sasa na hizo control form. Sawa? Traditionally back then we would really have those disbursement notes. Over times, right now, most of us are moving into cloud accounting. Some cloud account systems do not have that, but it's a very important document. Sawa? Asa ile document unakuwa una touch hizo. Pesa itaonekana imeenda kwa, what's your good name? Kwa Lamek. So utaona pesa imeenda kwa Lamek. Lakini nitachukua disbursement note, nitaonesha pesa imeenda kwa Lamek, alafu from Lamek nitaonesha zile payments nimefanya. Nimelipia control number ya TRA, nimelipia zile payments za halmashauri. Sawa? Nimelipia subscriptions. Sasa nategemea pia control number isome biashara, isome Lamek. Sawa? Halmashauri isome. Hasa kwenye subscription sijui. Kwa sababu sometimes subscription inaweza ikasoma jina lako, lakini so I don't know how your invoice, but also your invoice is supposed to read the business. Sawa? Lakini hata kama haijasoma, if I'm paying for a subscription that is in line with the business I'm doing, it could be a challenge kumwelezea Revenue Authority, but it's worth an explanation to make because it is credible. So, however, sasa going forward, you might want to make various payments. Sawa? Kila siku hautotumia kisingizio cha kwamba bank account yangu it cannot. We have various payment channels. Back then you were not able to get mobile money for companies. Right now unaweza ukapata namba ya simu ya biashara yako na bado ukatengeneza an online digital zile card. So I use the cards to make payments. M-Pesa, let me give an example. I didn't want to mention any telecom, but various telecommunication companies, sawa? Whatever of your preference. Unaweza ukapata a SIM card for your business, sawa? Na pia ukaweza kufanya online payments. We even have others that are not telecom companies that even are much affordable. So unakuwa na a system kwamba nikitaka kufanya malipo yangu eti nitafanya kwa mobile. It's even much cheaper, by the way, rather than making easy payments via bank. Personally, I also use mobile, but inatakiwa ya kampuni. Sawa? Itakuwa ni rahisi hata kwako. Labda withholding na stamp duty, BRELA, zile zote. Sawa? Yes, na unachukua zile documents zako zote unazipeleka kwenye data room yako. Sawa? Ile disbursement note. So all of those are going to be, so it is not a mistake per se. We have documents ambazo unaweza kutumia kuzi-explain. Sawa? Now you requested for a clarity on, can we go back kidogo? Financial checklist. Financial checklist. You requested clarification on these two, si ndio? Tumeshafanya discussion yote, sawa? Sasa nimejaribu kusimplify. Wewe kama a business owner, what are the checklist ambazo unaweza kawa nazo kwamba nikitaka kuangalia ku make sure my business is doing well, ni vitu gani niangalie, sawa? Ndio nikakupa coming ratio. Sasa kwenye regulatory standing ni kwamba naangalia biashara yangu inatakiwa i-comply wapi. What are the authorities ambazo inatakiwa i-comply? Sawa, imesajiliwa. Niliko sajili, je, kuna any annual fee ambayo natakiwa nilipe? Au leseni yangu ina expire lini? You don't want to be hit by surprise. Sawa. Kwa ukiwa na hizi regulatory checks itakusaidia pia kama ni matters of documentation, unajua ikifika February I need to plan for my license. Kitu kingine, what is another authority that I need to report to? Maybe tayari nishalipa but I need a tax clearance, maybe kuna vitu natakiwa ni apply. So you know my tax clearance is inakaa ya mwaka mzima, si ndio? So tukifika January, my team inabidi tuanze ku apply rather than wewe kuja kusubiri kuwa frustrated. Sawa? All right. I need to, what other permits do I need to pay for? Sawa? So all these na fall kwenye regulatory. Yani regulatory standing ni kwamba ni vitu ambavyo biashara yako imetakiwa i-comply. It's a must kwa sheria. Kwa sheria zetu za biashara you're supposed to comply. As hivyo vitu you cannot go about it. There's no way you can go about it, right? Hawezi ukazi avoid. It's just a rule that you have to adhere to. So you need to hii checklist ya regulatory standing. Sasa nikasema kwa sababu mara nyingi unakuta watu wanasema unajua biashara, kufanya biashara you have so many things. Nikasema tuna a lot of publications kulingana na industry yako. A lot of business consultants wameandika. Sawa? Unakuta anakuambia if you're in this industry, these are the regulatory checklists. So sio nyingi. I was just encouraging you, they're not a lot. Sawa? Na ukizijua zitakusaidia. Hata kesho na kesho kutwa 10 years from now you want policy changes, you know what authorities affect you. Sawa? And then document integrity ni kuhakikisha documents zako zipo na ni sahihi. Sawa? You don't have to wait to forge. Hasa kama tukirudi kule unakumbuka tulivyojifunza pale kwenye clean transfer rule. Sawa? Nimetoa hela. Hizi payments za kampuni, you may not have an issue because utapata hizo receipts. Sawa? Issue ni pesa ikiwa inaenda kwa founder. If it's a salary, can we agree kwamba huu ndo mshahara uko napata, tumeangalia. So you're going to have an agreement, your business employing you. So that you are there to that. If you're going to take a loan, let there be a loan. If it's an advance, let it be paid within 12 months. Sawa? So document integrity ni kumake sure documents zako zote ziko sahihi. How do you make sure this is a checklist? Kule kwenye clean transfer rule, pesa yote ikitoka, there's explanation, there's a document, haipo, can we get it? Sawa? Na kwenye documentation sio tu receipt, inatakiwa iseme biashara yako. Sawa? Kama ni mkataba useme biashara. Kama mkataba wa pango useme nina Lamek. Now that is an agreement between you, Lamek and the landlord. If it's your business, let it be your business and the landlord. Sawa? So those are the two. I hope I've tried to clarify. So, okay, I've been in such a scenario. Sawa? Nimefanya malipo. Naona hela imetoka, possibly ilikuwa biashara lakini sikumbuki ni ya kitu gani. Kitu ambacho nitaangalia. Kwanza ni it's wrong, si ndio? Unajua it's wrong, ulitakiwa uwe na documentation au pale kwenye maelezo pale. Hata nikiwa nakutumia hela niandike. Mimi siku hizi naandika. So even if it's anything I write, book order, I write there. Ili nisaidie kukumbuka. Sawa? Kwa nitaangalia mtu nilikuwa namtumia ni nani. Kama ni online, kama ni via mobile, kama ni online or digital payment, it's easy to trace, right? Unaangalia ilikokuwa inaenda. Kama ilikuwa sio online, that's going to be a very big challenge. Because sasa unaniambia nikukumbushe kitu ulichosahau. You see, that's going to be difficult. So what we do, that's going to be really difficult. So ndo unakuta kwenye biashara, tukiangalia jaribu leo watu ukisearch hapo kutafuta financial statements. Unakutaga tumeandika kwenye biashara pale partners drawings. Nyingi kweli zinakuwa ni drawings, nyingine tunakuta pesa tu mwenye kampuni amespend hawezi kuzi account for. Sawa? Sasa tunazirudishaje kwenye biashara? Sisi wengine kabla ya mwisho wa mwaka tunaangalia, wewe partner tumekubaliana tunakulipa labda this amount of money, tunakudai, umeshindwa kuirudisha, tunakukata. So instead kama ulitakiwa kupokea maybe 2, we give you 1 because 1 is supposed to be deducted back. So if you're going to be honest, hiyo pesa ambayo umeshindwa kwa account inabidi tu deduct kwenye ile salary ambayo imekuwa adjusted as per market rate. Because kama ni online ni rahisi. Mimi kama ni online, hata kama nimesahau nitampigia yule mtu namba. Hivi ni kutumia hela ni ya nini? On digitally unaweza kutrace. Unaona kwa nini nasema tujitahidi tufanye online? Lakini physically you're trying to tell me nikukumbushe kitu ambacho umesahau, itakuwa ni changamoto. Sawa? So again, hakuna haraka kwenye payments ya biashara, lazima uweke explanation. Don't do this. Ngoja nifanye alafu nitakuja ni account. Hapana. As I'm doing, naomba hebu nitumie, hebu ni payment nini? Basi naomba nitumie control number hebu. So I'm going to put there. Maybe tukua tunalipia kitu fulani, nitakiweka. Na mara nyingi na encourage the digital ledger, yani inakuwa ni rahisi sana. Hata ukishafanya payment zako kwa simu different, utakuja utaweza kuzi account. Over physically you have a lot of things to do, you will forget. Okay?
Done. Anyone else? You have? No? You have no. Online, jamani. Our expert is still here. Our expert is still here. If someone needs any clarification, questions.
Yes, Lami.
So kuna some scenarios zinatokea kama swala la payment. So sisi tunatengeneza course kwa ajili ya wajasiriamali. So during the production lazima tunakuwa cover some of the raw materials. Sasa tumetokea scenario, umeenda kushoot, labda kuna course moja ambayo tulikuwa tumeenda kushoot, ilikuwa inahitaji vitu vidogo like nyanya, kitunguu, carrot, ili tuweze kutengeneza ile course kwa mapishi. Na most of the vitu kwa sehemu ambazo tunaenda kushoot kibara. So pata supermarket ili tukanunue nyanya, tupate receipt, kana changamoto. Sasa vitu vingi sokoni. Sokoni mama anauza sokoni, hana receipt ya kwa. Tukaamua kuaccount kama ile ni expense ambayo tulimpa ile trainer for preparation. Hakutokea tumesainisha form. Ilikuwa sio huge amount, bali na kitu hivi katokea tumemsainisha kwamba ya receiving this amount kwa ajili ya preparation for material kwa ajili ya course. Confirm na akasign. Changamoto inakuja hapa kwamba hakimu nimefikiri na wale vitu walivyonunua ni vitu ambavyo wamevinunua in a local market. In terms of auditing, hiyo inakuwa kutuletea shida kiasi gani? Kwa sababu most of the courses ambazo tunatengeneza nyingi zinahusisha kwenda kununua vitu vidogo. Kuna issue kama makozi ya resin ambayo ni transformation of items to beautify them and make them valuable to sell. Sehemu ambako tunaenda kuzitafuta zile chupa kwa ajili ya kuja kuzinania, ndio ni kwenye wale wanaokota makopo. Unakuta kule unaenda kununua zile chupa, unaenda kununua nini, unakwenda kununua spray, ni duka fulani tu la mtaani kwa kona. So some expenses like that. Na kama ndio tunakuwa tunamsainisha ile trainer kwamba yeye alireceive, lakini sasa kupata receipt kutokana na mazingira ya online is very tough. In terms of auditing, how are we dealing with it?
Okay. So kwanza kabisa, if a payment is going to be for a service, iache hiyo ya service. Yani kama unamlipa mtu ni labor charge. Kama ni ya product, iache hiyo ya product. Kwa sababu implications zake zinakuwa tofauti. Sawa? Kwa nini? Payment ya product, it's highly possible kuwa considered kama a cost ya biashara, sawa, ambayo baadaye itaenda ku generate funds. Lakini payment ambayo inaenda kwa service for ya labor charge, tunaangalia at what point inatakiwa iwe accounted for, kwa sababu unaona sasa ukimsainisha yule trainer kama impokea ile pesa, tunaweza tukaitreat ile yote kama service amount, wakati kiukweli ilikuwa sio service amount. Kwa kama umempatia ya service, andika pale service. Kwa nini? Mtu yeyote ambaye amelipwa na biashara, tutaangalia was it a service, was it employment. Sawa. Kama imeajiliwa, tutaangalia umelipa PAYE, umelipa SGL. Nakumbuka ile training nilifanyiwa. Lakini kama ni service, tunaangalia hiyo service ina qualify for withholding, kwa sababu kuna services zina qualify for withholding tax. Sasa hivi ni 10%, kuna ambazo hazi qualify. Sawa. Sasa unaona ambavyo ukimwekea 100,000 tayari we are debating whether 100,000 iko subject to 10 or not. Wakati ingekuwa kama product, we would have not had that discussion. That is number 1. Number 2, even the regulator knows these businesses. Sawa. Tuna our small scale wanafahamika kabisa. Sasa you are supposed to account for it kama ulivyoitumia. Kama ulinunua nyanya, put it as nyanya. It's a payment ambayo tutaiaccount, sawa. Possibly utakachoweza kunipa ni petty cash, sawa, kwamba nilitoa pesa hii kununua hiki na hiki na hiki, lakini haitakuwa na EFD na haiwezi kuwa na EFD kwa sababu ile mtu hawezi kuwa na EFD. Mostly kwenye agricultural products ni changamoto. Will it be a questionable matter? Yes, because sheria yetu mpaka mwaka jana tulikuwa tuna watu ambao wanaruhusiwa kuwa na EFD na ambao hawaruhusiwi, lakini since last year mwezi wa 7 ilitoka mabadiliko ya sheria, akasema expenses zote za biashara zinatakiwa ziwe supported na EFD. That is as per the law. But when we are being audited, pia tunajaribu kuwaelezea watu uhalisia wa biashara zetu. We sit down when we are being audited and we explain kwamba based on the nature of our businesses, at least leo ni kibaya, sometimes unaweza kuwa kule ndani and you need to shoot a cause. So am I going to look for a supermarket? In fact, there are some regions where hakuna supermarket ambayo inauza perishable products. So these are things that we explain to them. Lakini another smart move that we usually do, these big businesses wanafanya, makampuni makubwa, but you can also do it as a startup. Kuna kitu ambacho tunakiita, tunaombaga ruling, sawa. Kwa hizi auditor anaweza aka-approve, sawa, lakini tax authority anaweza si legitimize kama a business expense, ndio. Kwa hiyo tuna kitu tunakiita ruling. Ruling ni kwamba kama unavyoisikia it's a ruling, you are requesting for something to be ruled. Kwa hiyo tunaandika, tunamwambia you explain your business, sawa. This is the nature of my business, this is how I do, these are the expenses. I would like a ruling on this specific matter when I'm doing my business, kwa sababu sasa hivi unaangalia ni nyanya moja. Over time, if that's going to be the nature of your cause, it could be a huge amount, sawa. Sasa unaangalia, we try to explain the nature of the business kwamba kulingana na biashara yangu, I am not able to do this because of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm requesting that when I'm being audited, can these expenses be supported, or may I be given another requirement ya kuweza kusubstantiate. Kuna ambao wanapata, kuna ambao hawapati because ile kitu ni based on a personal judgment. Atakayesoma hiyo barua atakuita mfanye discussion, ataangalia feasibility ya biashara yako, kwa sababu na wao sio kwamba kwa sababu they have tax regions across the country they know business. No, they don't know this business, so you need to explain someone your business, sawa. So atakana wewe, then they will be able to kuangalia the feasibility of your business, sawa. Is it possible to accommodate you in any other way? Sawa. And it's usually a very rigorous activity, kwa sababu mfano anaweza akakuomba, kama ni mimi, I would sit through the process because in future itanisaidia. Anaweza akuuliza okay, maybe ni nyanya 1, 2, lakini possibly ni kila kozi unayofanya. So you're able to tell them maybe kwa mwaka tunafanya kozi 10. Na kumbukeni, you won't pay tax on your pesa unayopokea, unalipa kodi kwenye profit, right? So there's no problem having these discussions with them. So anaweza akakuomba kuangalia the umuhimu wa kupa hiyo ruling. anaweza akafikia maybe it's just one training. So you show them this is our main activity. Roughly we do this much training. Roughly this is how much the vegetables cost. So unaona ambavyo inakuja kuwa amount kubwa over time, how can we go about it? Mtu mwingine akwambia sasa inabidi mimi mnunue supermarket alafu msafirishe. Doesn't make sense if I have to travel for 8 hours. Are they going to be perishable? So kuna a lot of discussions, but it's something that we do. We sit with the revenue authority, tunaandika ruling. Unamwelezea biashara yako kitu gani unataka uwe exempted kulingana na sheria. Alafu you sit through the process. And then we have businesses that get rulings. So unaweza ukapewa ruling ya miaka 5, sababu wengine wanazimisuse. Sawa? Kuna pewa miaka 5 wanai-review hivyo. Any other question?
Any other question jamani?
Kwenye ile njia ya kusema kwanza tumepiwa kwa kuelezea kuhusiana na vitu ambavyo wanaenda research. Is there a specific amount ambayo ina government around that, yani kiasi hiki inaweza ikaeleweka, kiasi hiki this is not going to be acceptable?
Hamna. Zamani ilikuwepo, lakini sasa hivi hamna kwa sababu wamesema sheria zote zinatakiwa ziwe all expenses are supposed to be accounted for by receipts. Lakini pia the importance, ukubwa wa 50,000 kwa biashara yako na ukubwa wa 50,000 kwa biashara yangu ni tofauti. I may look at your business as an auditor, nikaamua kuruhusu 50,000 ambayo haionekani because it is immaterial. Sawa? Nikaangalia biashara ya yule dada pale, nikagundua 50,000 is very material. It's a very huge amount. Sawa? So there is no one size fits all. Materiality inategemea na business. It varies from business to business. Sawa? It varies.
This is just another clarification. Kwenye wengi tukiwa tunafanya biashara, tunafanya programs zetu, kuna watu ambao tunakutana nao ambao tunafanya nao kazi. Let's say the photographers, the videographers. Most of them, they do not have EFD. And most of them, because we are supposed to document impact that we have been doing. Now, how are we going to around with this, especially for the services of this? Or should we strictly go with the one with the EFD?
If you have an option ya kwenda na the one with the EFD, it's a good one, but anaweza akawa sio preferably vendor, anaweza akawa sio flexible, anaweza akawa a good one but not your preferably, not flexible and expensive pia, si ndio? So still unawalipa hawa watu. Kuwalipa na kulipa withholding tax, it does not legalize the expense. Kwa sababu saa nyingine unakutaka biashara tunachokifanya nampa 40%, alafu nalipia withholding tax. Yani wewe kulipa ile withholding tax haifanyi hiyo expense kuwa legitimate. What makes that expense legitimate is the documentation, si ndio? So na hawa watu ukiwaambia wapate EFD watakukimbia, they will never give you services. So in our laws there are ways we can document people that we work with. Cha kwanza, yule hawezi kuwa full time employee, sawa? Kwa sababu kuna conditions za full time employee, lakini tuna watu tunawaita casual laborers. Kwa mimi I would suggest wakae kama casual laborers. Ukiangalia casual laborers, kitu tunacholipia ni SDL. Na ili uweze kulipa SDL unatakiwa wawe zaidi ya 10 per month. Sawa? Yes, so it is the same hata sisi ambao tunatumia industry kubwa ambayo inatumia hiyo kitu ni the production industry pia. Unaona kama hizi production companies, cameraman wale wote, wale sio payroll yake. Ana onboard kulingana na ukubwa wa hiyo kazi during that time. Sawa? Kwa hiyo ukifika mwisho wa mwezi tunaangalia how many cameramans did they work with, how much was paid, we record it as casual laborers. Kwa wewe kwenye SD return yako utakuwa unawaonyesha kama casual laborers, kwa sababu who is a casual laborer kwa kisheria yetu ni mtu ambaye umefanya naye kazi on one time basis, not fully employed. Kwa hiyo mwezi naweza nikamfanya naye mwezi mwingine naweza nikawa sijafanya naye. Lakini sasa unakuta kuna wengine tunaweka kama casual laborers, ila we are working with them every month. So sheria inasema mtu ukifanya naye miezi 6 consecutively, huyo sio tena casual laborer, huyo ni full time employee, kama utakuwa umemamua kumweka kama casual laborer. So another ways, we use them 6 months, we skip a month. That's what we do.
Thank you for that. I think that's the way to say that. Taking back nishatengeneza sawa mwaka jana mwezi wa 5. Revision file kwenye system ya TRA kwamba employee mmoja payment 00. Na pale kuna kile kipengele cha mwisho ambacho very kimeandikwa kwa maandishi mekundu. Are you sure that
I agree to the best of my knowledge this information is correct?
it's correct? How are we going to backdate that?
Backdating, there is no way to backdate it without a penalty. So possibly we run, well, the Revenue Authority runs a routine check. So again, routinely audit watu. Sasa you need to be honest with yourself and go back and look at what I shared, zile 4 pillars. Expenses ambazo ulikuwa nazo jaribu kuzi account vizuri, sawa. It's possible kwenye mwaka wa kujilipa. It's possible. First year of business, I didn't pay myself. And I was audited and but I could prove I did not because nilikuwa siwezi. Could have paid myself, lakini sasa it has to make sense. Otherwise, you go back to your zile 4 pillars, sawa? Kwa sababu either way they're going to come and audit. As long as your business inaendelea. Sasa wakija kuaudit sasa hivi watarudi nyuma. Sheria inaruhusu 5 years. So you need to go back and prepare. I believe kuna some documents tutakuwa nazo. Na kuna some ambazo zitakuwa unaccounted for.
Yeah, so hapo ndio kuhusiana na hao casual laborers. Kwa wiki nilifanya kazi ya production. Mwezi wa 5 mwaka jana. Kazi imeshaenda, products are there. So kama now I have to, so the practice and most important is to intervention was the right practice in kwamba kwa tunachukua kumpa ile scope of work. Tunamsaidia that was the practice about it. Now, again, you know this, needs to learn
Sasa kwa mwezi huo ulitumia cameraman zaidi ya 10, kwa sababu kumbuka nimekwambia ili uweze kulipa SDL wanatakiwa zaidi ya 10. Sawa. So the only issue you're going to have with the regulator ni kwamba huyo mmoja mbona haukumuonesha, which it's arguable kwa sababu tunasema the essence ya kufanya return filing ni kuonesha documents. Kama ambacho sikukuonesha hakijasababisha ukosefu wa kodi, it is not material. That's how we argue. So it is not a problem because there are not more than 10 per month. 10 or more. Okay? So the only problem utakuwa ni kwamba haukuonesha. Na unajitetea tu vizuri. You did not mislead au kuficha any information japokuwa ulitakiwa umuoneshe. Kwa sababu pia system ukimweka tu mmoja haikukati. Wakifika tu 10 ndio na generate. Ila if you want to really go ahead and correct it, you can write a letter to amend. As if you're going to do that, write a letter to amend PAYE and SDL returns, make sure ufanye ile firewall, make sure we review biashara yako yote, kwa sababu the moment you write that, you're inviting them for a visit to your business. So you need to make sure you're ready. So,
my name is Mariam and I'm from Yanacop. Yanacop is an IT company. We deal with IT services, including domain registration, website development, software development, as well as digital and infrastructure business. Generally, kwenye session ya financial discipline and separation conducted by Madam Judith, nimegain vitu vitatu. Actually, Mimi kwa upande wangu kwa nilichojifunza ni kwamba every business and every owner of the business has to be financially disciplined. Ukiwa na discipline ya finances zako kwenye kampuni, then probably utakuwa na uwezo wa kuona nini unafanya kulingana na fund ambazo unazo na nini cha kurekebisha. Kwa the session imenisaidia mimi kujua ni kwa namna gani naweza nikaanza au kwa nilipoanza na namna gani naweza nikaendelea hapo kwa upande wa finance, na vitu vingi sana tumejifunza jinsi ya kuweka matumizi yako ili yaweze kukusaidia wewe mwenyewe kujua at the end of the day umefanya nini kulingana na finance na matumizi yote. Kwa hiyo kwa ujumla naweza nikasema session was a success kwangu mimi. Nimegain vitu vingi na she did a great job and I'm so proud of her and I'm so proud of myself kwa katika session here, and yes, that's it.
My name is Lamek Lawrence. I'm the co-founder and also the CEO of Creative Karakana. And for today's session, it was a very insightful session, especially on the part of the tax, and also to understand the overall balance and discipline of financials for the company and how to separate the personal finances and also the business finances. This goes down deep to how we are going to restructure our startups on a way that it's going to bring the value and also the funds that we are receiving. We're making sure that we are utilizing them in a correct manner and in a way that it goes beyond the impact, and also to be able for us to start seeing the revenue and also to help us to grow and scale our businesses.
Hello, I'm Florence Sakaya, the co-founder and CEO of Swahili Makers. We have been in mentorship and expert sessions with Sahara and Mastercard Foundation. During this program, we have experienced a lot from experts who are in the fields that they are addressing. So we've learned a lot about how we can continue running our businesses, not only to get profit, revenue for growth, but also to scale our products, to scale the EdTech solution to reach more clients and make a good business that can stay long, and as founders to keep aside or to just stand away to let the business run. Thank you so much to Sahara and Mastercard Foundation for these exclusive opportunities for fellows, and we hope to work more and make impact in the education sector. Thank you. So we also participate in a session with Sinofel about the financial discipline and separation, how we can look at the compensation and financial matrices in our companies. So it was an insightful and help us to know how to separate the bills, the company bills, and mostly importantly the know-how of knowing the company is not an extended wallet for the founders or the directors and the CEOs. Thank you so much.